Well, here we go again. Another day gone by. And so far today, I started out by washing the car just with straight water and a sponge. And what that does for you is it takes off all the heavy dust, first of all. But the second thing it does is once it cleans up the surface, then you can look for any shiny spots. And what the shiny spots mean is that's somewhere you forgot or you missed sanding. Something like that top hinge there that I forgot totally. Anyway, I didn't do any recording today because anything I had to say is probably not YouTube friendly. This is not one of my favorite sports. But anyway, got a lot of the hard stuff done. Or not actually hard, just long and boring. And if you can see in the back there, I'm covering up the convertible top with a double layer just in case. This is actually a cloth woven top rather than a vinyl top, and it's an expensive piece, so I really don't want to unmask and find out there's overspray all over it. And another little thing on these GMs, on the right hand side, they have a strap on the seat which acts as the stop, so your seat can only go so far ahead. They don't do that on the left hand side. So I took the steering wheel off of this thing because I don't want to be masking up over top of it, just to make my life easier. And just remember, there's no stop on that seat on that side. So if you got the steering wheel off, what happens is you flop that seat ahead and it pops a nice hole through the seat cover from the steering shaft. Anyway, I still got about half to go, but a lot of the hard stuff is done. I've got some more scuffing to do to my shiny spots, clean it all up. This side is about finished. Other than across the cowl. Anyway, another day of masking. Clean up again. And clean up my high dollar spray booth. And we should be able to be ready to spray some paint. So I'll bring you back tomorrow as things go on. One more little item. This is a 327 with a 2-barrel. And you'll notice down here this choke spring. I am looking for one of those, so if anybody can stick down in the comments where I might find one. The big block and the 4-barrel are different. The mounting tab goes on the opposite side. That I have. But I'm looking for one for a 2-barrel. So if anybody knows, I'd appreciate you letting me know. I know I'm not going to win any awards for being the fastest in the world for masking, but 2 days later, finally masked up. I finished the bottoms up this morning. And what I do when I do the bottom is I fold the bottom of the paper underneath, and then when you pour the water on the floor, is the paper sucks up some of the water, wicks up the paper, and that holds it down to the floor so it's not blowing all over the place when you spray. And the other thing I do is I've washed the car again completely with just clean water, and then I did the final wash. Some people use wax and grease remover. I use final wash, whatever. I wet the floor before I start doing all that. And the reason for it is as you walk around in the water, if you just put water on the floor, the dust will come up to the top of the water. Well, what you're doing when you're walking around is you're grinding it in and you're making mud out of it. So gravity's not really your friend in this case. So as long as you grind it in with the water and make mud, it doesn't seem to bother you all that much. I just wanted to show you my Redneck high-tech spray booth. Now I know you're all getting excited and saying, well, where can I get one of them? Don't worry about it. I've applied for the patent and I'm sure they'll be in production in no time. And what I do with that is through that window back there, is that's how I regulate my airflow coming through. So anyway, we're all washed. The only thing I've got left to do is a tack, and then it's ready to spray. And I'm gonna have to use 2 guns. The one you saw the other day, the little one, and what really all that thing is it comes in a kit that you buy at Harbor Freight. There's another gun with it, which I use for primer, and I think that the kit's like $60 or something like that. It's dirt cheap. You know, they're throwaway guns, but both of them, for that kind of money, they're well worth it. And then the other one I'm going to use is this one. Now it's a Techna, it's a good gun. The only complaint that I've got with it, and especially for the kind of stuff that I do, is it's got a 1-quart cup on it. And for me, that's just way too big, and it makes the gun a little bit clumsy. So, you know, me being the procrastinator, I haven't got and went and bought like a 20-ounce cup. It would just make it a lot easier. Anyway, it's pretty much time to paint. Like I said, the only thing I've got left to do is go around and tack it all. And when you do it with the water, that takes the majority of the dust off. And when you go and do your wash, or your wax and grease remover, whatever it's called, your rags will almost be clean when you're done. So that means you've got everything that's hanging on that car. So the only thing left for me to do is pull the trigger. And on that note, Who Shot JR? We'll catch you next time.